If you're over 60 and find it hard to let go of old things, you're not alone. But Grandma always had a way of lightening her home and her heart. The Reset Granny says holding on to every memory can weigh you down. And today we're revealing the secrets she never told anyone. Before we dive in, subscribe if you're ready to reset life after 60, simpler, lighter, and more joyful. In this video, you'll learn 8 gentle secrets Grandma used to let go of sentimental clutter without guilt. You'll see why releasing certain items doesn't erase memories, plus 2 simple mindset shifts that make the process feel lighter instead of painful. And you'll hear the surprising letting go method she quietly relied on for years to keep her home calm and her mind peaceful. Stay until the end. The final secret is something even most grown children never knew about their grandparents. Secret 1. Keep memories, not stuff. Grandma understood something many of us only realize later in life. The memory isn't stored in the old sweater, the chipped mug, the handwriting on the envelope. It's stored in you. The object is just a doorway to the moment, not the moment itself. And when you separate the memory from the material, letting go becomes softer, kinder, and far less overwhelming. All right, love, start small. Just pick one sentimental item, maybe something you've held on to for years because, well, it reminds you of a person, a season, or a moment that really shaped you. Hold it gently and ask yourself, do I want the item, or is it the memory it represents? Most of the time, honestly, it's the memory we're protecting, not the object itself. Now let's try Grandma's gentle method. Instead of keeping everything, preserve the memory in a way that won't clutter your home or your mind. Take a clear photo of the item, scan any letters, notes, and cards. And if it's something really special, record a short voice note describing why it mattered to you. You're not discarding the meaning. You're just giving it a safer, easier place to live, you know? Create a little digital album and label it My Treasured Memories. This becomes your peaceful archive, a place where your stories live without taking up space on shelves, in closets, or in boxes you rarely open. And here's the beautiful part. When the object leaves, the memory doesn't fade. In fact, many people say their attachment becomes even stronger because the pressure to keep disappears. You're no longer tied to the weight of the thing, only to the warmth of the moment. And that's really what matters, isn't it? As you release what no longer serves you, something shifts inside. Your home feels lighter, your mind feels clearer, and your heart feels, well, freer to welcome new memories. It's the kind of quiet peace Grandma protected her whole life, choosing meaning, not material, and choosing space for joy over piles of just in case. If you try this gentle reset, tell Granny below. Secret 2. One item at a time. You know, Grandma never tried to clear a whole room in a single day. She understood that letting go doesn't happen all at once. It happens in soft, steady steps. One item, one drawer, one quiet decision at a time. And that's really why her home always felt peaceful instead of overwhelming. She truly understood that progress isn't measured in how much you throw away, but in how gently you move forward. Start by choosing a tiny space, maybe a single drawer, a corner of a shelf, or even just one small box you haven't opened in years. Don't pressure yourself to fix the whole room. Today is really just about one moment of clarity, one moment of courage. Open that drawer and, well, let yourself explore without judgment. Pick up one item and ask, do I still need this? Does it still add comfort, purpose, or joy to my life? If the answer is no, that's one small victory. And if the answer is yes, that's clarity too. Either way, you're moving. You know, the beauty of this method is that small wins begin to build momentum. Each tiny decision, well, it strengthens your confidence. Each cleared spot becomes a little reminder that you're capable, in control, and honestly, you're creating a home that supports the life you have now, not the life you had decades ago. Grandma always said, a tidy drawer is a tidy mind. And, she was right. When you take things one piece at a time, the pressure just lifts. The overwhelm fades away. Your space starts to feel manageable again, and every little section you reset becomes encouragement to tackle the next. By the end of the week, you'll notice something powerful. Those small choices, they really do add up. What once felt impossible begins to feel doable. You start seeing open spaces you haven't seen in years. You breathe easier in your own home. This is how real change happens, not in big, exhausting projects, but in gentle, steady moments of progress that build your confidence and restore your peace. If you're ready to start with just one item today, tell Granny below. Secret 3. Ask, does this serve me? Grandma understood something most people overlook. Sentimentality is emotional, not practical. We often keep items because they tug at the heart, not because they're useful, needed, or even loved. And that's why this simple question became one of her quiet superpowers. Does this still serve me? When you pick up a sentimental item, your first reaction is usually emotional. It reminds you of someone you loved, a moment you cherish, or a version of yourself from years ago. But here's the gentle truth. Not every memory needs a permanent place on your shelf. Some memories can live in your heart without sitting in your home. All right, love. Try this reset. Hold each item in your hands for a moment. Just feel its weight. Let the memory come, if it wants to. Then, ask yourself honestly, does this bring me joy, or does it bring me guilt? Sometimes, we keep things because we feel we should, not because we truly want to. Maybe it was a gift you never really liked. Maybe it belonged to someone you miss. Or maybe it represents a chapter of life you've already grown beyond. If the item brings warmth, comfort, or a smile, it serves you. But if it brings heaviness, pressure, or guilt, it's gently asking to be released. And here's the surprising part, dear. When you let go of what no longer serves you, you don't lose the memory. You gain clarity. You gain emotional space. You gain peace. Grandma always said, if it steals your peace, it doesn't belong in your home. When you listen to that inner tug, that instinct that tells you whether an item supports your life or weighs it down, you begin to create a space that reflects who you are today, not who you used to be. This question becomes a compass, guiding you through the hardest decisions. One item at a time, your home transforms, and so does your heart. If you're willing to try this simple question today, tell Granny below. Secret 4. Honor the memory, then release. Grandma had a gentle way of letting go that many people never noticed. She never rushed. She never tossed things carelessly. She honored the memory first, then she released the item. She understood something deeply true. Saying goodbye to an object doesn't erase love. It simply clears space for peace. We often hold on to sentimental things because they feel connected to someone we miss or a moment we don't want to forget. But, keeping the object isn't the only way, or even the best way, to honor those feelings. Sometimes, the most loving act is to pause, remember, and let go with grace. Here's how Grandma did it. Before parting with a sentimental item, she'd take a quiet moment. She might write a short note about why the item mattered, or she'd tell someone the story behind it, passing the memory forward. Sometimes she'd hold a tiny goodbye ceremony, even if it was just a whispered thank you before placing the object in a donation bag. Try this yourself. Pick one item and spend a moment with it. Let the memory surface, the person, the moment, the feeling. Then honor it however feels right. You can write a few lines in a journal, share the story with a friend or family member, record a voice note so the memory stays alive, or simply say, "Thank you for what you meant to me." That acknowledgement turns letting go into a meaningful ritual, not a painful separation. And here's the beautiful realization. When you release something with intention, you keep the best part, the love, the lesson, the story, without the weight of the physical item. Letting go doesn't have to feel like loss. It can feel like closure, like gratitude, like giving yourself permission to move forward with a lighter heart. Because when you honor the memory, you discover something Grandma always knew. Love doesn't live in the object, it lives in you. If this gentle approach speaks to you, tell Granny below. Secret number 5, the box of maybe. Grandma understood that not every decision has to be made today. Some items carry such complicated feelings. It's a real mix of love, guilt, and uncertainty. And honestly, when your heart hesitates, forcing yourself to choose can feel completely overwhelming. That's exactly why she created something simple but powerful, the box of maybe. She knew, deep down, that some things just need a bit more reflection. You're not quite ready to keep them, but you're not ready to let them go either. So, instead of struggling, Grandma gave herself permission to pause. She'd place those uncertain items in a simple box, tuck it away, and let time do the sorting. Here's how to try it yourself. Just find a medium-sized box and label it maybe. No pressure, no rush at all. Pick up the items you're unsure about, the ones that tug at your heart but also fill your space, and place them gently inside. Then, simply close the lid and store the box somewhere out of sight for 6 months. This time, buffer gives your emotions space to settle. It removes the item from your daily environment so you can see if you actually miss it, or if the attachment was simply habit or guilt. And here's the part Grandma loved most. After 6 months, most people realize they didn't think about those items at all. The emotional weight softens. What once felt impossible suddenly feels easy. If you open the box and feel nothing pulling you back, it's a sign. You're ready to let them go. But if you open it and something still sparks warmth, joy, or meaning, that's okay too. Keeping one or two truly meaningful pieces is part of the process. The goal isn't to get rid of everything, it's to keep only what serves your heart today. The box of maybe isn't about indecision, it's about kindness. It's about giving yourself time to breathe, reflect, and choose with clarity rather than pressure. And the peace you feel afterward? That's the gift. If you try a maybe box of your own, tell Granny below. Secret 6. Give to someone who will use it. You know, Grandma always believed that an item's true value wasn't in how long she kept it, but in how much purpose it still had. She understood that some things could bring more joy, comfort, or usefulness in someone else's hands than sitting untouched in a drawer. And honestly, when you see your belongings this way, letting go feels less like losing something, and more like sharing a blessing. Try this gentle reset. Choose one item that still has life left in it. Maybe a cozy blanket, a kitchen tool, a book, or a piece of jewelry. Then, think of someone who could genuinely use it. It could be a neighbor, a grandchild, a friend, or even someone you've never met through donation. When you pass it along, share the small story behind it. That tiny moment of connection, it really does turn the item into a gift, not a goodbye. Something beautiful happens when you do this. Gratitude begins to replace attachment. Instead of holding on to things out of guilt or habit, you release them with purpose. You feel lighter, knowing the item is creating joy elsewhere. And in the end, you carry the memory, not the weight. Grandma always said, if it can help someone else, let it. And you know she was right. Giving away what you no longer need is honestly one of the kindest resets you can make for both your home and your heart. If you'd gift an item with a story this week, well, do tell Granny below. Secret 7. Keep the rituals, not the objects. Grandma knew that the real heart of a memory isn't in the object. It's in the ritual, the moment, the feeling. Traditions last because of what we did, not what we kept. Her wisdom was simple. You don't need every old item to keep a loved one close. What matters is continuing the small rituals that made those moments special. Try this gentle shift. Instead of holding onto your mother's old cookie jar, bake her favorite cookies. Instead of keeping stacks of holiday decorations, repeat the tradition that brought everyone together. Play the song you used to dance to. Make the recipe your family loved. Write the birthday message she always wrote for you. These small actions carry far more emotional weight than any physical object ever could. And here's the beautiful part. When you focus on the ritual instead of the item, the memory becomes alive again. It moves, it breathes, it warms your heart the same way it did decades ago. You're not staring at something on a shelf, you're living the love in real time. This mindset turns letting go into something gentle. You're not losing a connection, you're renewing it. You're choosing movement over clutter, meaning over storage, memory over material. Grandma knew that memories don't sit in objects. They live in what we repeat, what we share, and what we continue with love. If you'd like to bring back a favorite ritual this week, just tell Granny below. Secret 8. The emotional check-in. Granny's secret. You know, Grandma's quietest but most powerful secret wasn't really about decluttering or organizing. It was actually about listening to herself. She understood that letting go isn't just physical. It's emotional too. Your feelings guide the process if you pay attention. Ignoring them only makes the task heavier, while honoring them makes it lighter, gentler, and, well, much more meaningful. Here's how to try it. As you pick up an item, just pause for a moment. Breathe deeply. Notice the feelings that arise. Is it sadness, guilt, joy, or maybe nostalgia? Acknowledge them without judgment. Say to yourself, it's okay to feel this. I'm giving this item with love, not loss. This simple step, honestly, transforms letting go from a chore into a lovely moment of self-care. Grandma always said, your heart knows when it's ready. Some items may feel easy to release, while others, well, they might tug at you a bit longer. That's okay. Honor your pace. The goal isn't speed, it's awareness. Each pause, each breath, and each intentional release builds inner space, calmness, clarity, and a sense of freedom that, honestly, no object can provide. When you check in with your emotions, you realize something quite profound. Letting go doesn't diminish your memories or love. Instead, it creates room in your heart for new experiences, lighter moments, and, well, joy that doesn't feel burdened by the past. Which of these feels hardest for you? Tell Granny below. Here's what most people don't realize. Letting go isn't about losing things. It's about gaining clarity, freedom, and space for what truly matters. In 2025, seniors are embracing minimalist living, but Grandma did it decades ago. Quietly, wisely, and without regret. Her secret: cherish the memory, release the object, and watch your home and heart feel lighter than ever. Remember, letting go isn't forgetting. It's about creating space for joy, peace, and new memories. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend who needs their own reset. And don't forget to subscribe to the Senior Reset. Granny will be back next week with more simple, life-changing habits to make life after 60 lighter, happier, and more